Good morning and welcome to episode number 290 of Simply Flying Live with me, Shashank. I'm your host and the CEO of Simply Flying. Passengers don't like disruptions. They don't like their travel plans to be disrupted, especially during peak travel when everyone is traveling, usually with family, like it is right now in summer, at least in the northern hemisphere. A few weeks ago, pilot unions of WestJet, the Canadian airline, announced or voted 91% in favor of going on a strike. This was regarding a disagreement with management regarding jobs going to the new airline subsidiary Swoop and the different pay conditions there. So there was a disagreement and the union voted for a 91% strike. Just for background, WestJet was never unionized until very recently, wherein the pilots have now joined the official airline pilots union. So once they voted on to go on strike, now that is different from going on strike. Actually, there's a deadline before negotiations need to be done, and the pilots actually go on strike. Living here in Toronto, all of the news media was completely engrossed in whether the pilots will go on strike, and if the pilots go on strike, what have you got to do? So there were articles on what do you do if your WestJet flights get cancelled. There were interviews of passengers who were nervous about the flights being cancelled. There were interviews with pilots on why they were unhappy. Not a lot from the management. There were people. There were news segments showing pilots demonstrating outside WestJet's AGM as well. So there was a whole few weeks of negative publicity around the fact that WestJet pilots might potentially strike. Ultimately, on Friday, late night, the management managed to avert the strike by agreeing for a settlement, which is brokered by the government. Now, all of that is great that finally the strike did not happen. The CEO, Ed Sims, was on TV and media briefing them that the strike will not happen and WestJet will do everything it can to take care of the customers. Even earlier, they had stated that the fares will be fully refunded in case the pilots go on strike. But the damage, in my view, was done. The damage was done when the pilots voted 91% in favor of going on a strike or potentially going on a strike, because after that, all of the coverage from the press, from the media, from the bloggers, everyone is about what do you do when they go on strike. And guess what? This is impacting potentially 30% of all traffic within Canada, of all air traffic within Canada, if WestJet pilots were to go on strike. So this would have been a significant public inconvenience, and all of the attention was focused on that, and that is what hits the brand. That is what lingers in the mind of customers for a long time. This is something European airlines face on a regular basis, from the air transport strike, air transport controller strike, to the pilot strike, to the crew strike. Not a very major phenomenon in North America, certainly not at WestJet, which had low-cost routes, but as it now transitions towards a full-service carrier, these are realities it has to deal with. And these are realities that the brand needs to be flexible and agile about, because it will impact. Just the possibility of a strike has a deeper impact than potentially the strike itself, because by then everyone knows it's happening and they might have changed their plans. Bookings, WestJet said, already have been impacted because of the potential of strike, and that's not good. I do hope sincerely that the WestJet pilots union and the airline manages to work something out amicably in the future and reduce this possibility of strike, because it truly does hurt the brand. Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and now on YouTube as well. And we will catch you tomorrow, same time, 1 p.m. GMT or 9 a.m. Eastern. Till then, have a great one. Bye-bye.